Alright, welcome back to RPG Quest, and welcome back to game 150. We're going way back to the Jaguar. Some good Jaguar emulation came out, thanks to the team at Digital Eclipse there, the ones who made the Atari 50. Nice of them to bring out an Atari Jaguar emulator that actually works well with everything. As you notice, the timer put 5 hours originally into the game, so just keep the timer at that so it doesn't mess up everything. But we're gonna be starting from scratch, obviously. How's it going, everybody? Deadtail, hello. True Keen, Labrat, Tex, Augustine, Eltish, hello. Poppy Plot. Scroll down. Charmander, hello. John, how's it going? Living Odyssey, hello. Welcome, everybody. Good old Republic, yeah. Yeah, I mean, unless Nep doesn't win, but yeah, no, Nep's gonna win. There's no other game that's gonna have a chance against Nep at this point with all those extra votes. Alright, so yeah, so we got the Big P Emu, it's called. An emulator, I guess, was made for those Atari Jaguar games. They had an Atari 50 thing, and they were like, hey, you know what, let's give this to the community. Nice of them to do. Tested a little bit with it just to see. Seems to be 100%. Gotta remember my control setup here, so I know what I'm actually clicking on. It's a loud slash sound. Big P Emu, Rich Whitehouse. I don't know if I have the latest version, but whatever. I think they updated something recently, but... Is at least one person in the chat room finished the game? Yes. How did you find it, Tex? Was it good? Alright. Recent history, Towers 2. Amazing Towers 2. Well, two people, because Tex, I mean, prior to this, I mean, you could probably beat this game if you just kept slogging at it on the Phoenix emulator, which is what I was using originally. It's the only emulator that even went past the title screen prior to this. But now it seems like it's actually, you know, reliable, which there are rumors of Lamina's elite guards not returning from a quest. We were asked to see Farrell, the new sheriff. Told us about a lord named Daggan. Got some plot. Daggan once held a high seat in the council. He was an avid astronomer who made many discoveries, although he resigned his commission in favor of a strange new research. Amazing Atari Jaguar music. Strange happenings shortly followed. Many explosions were seen in this tower, but when examined, there was no trace. Also, bodies from the Mystics graveyard were missing and dirt unearthed. When the council inquired, he flew into a screaming rage and wanted to be left alone. Then he burnt several village homes, thankfully no one was hurt. This be a good... There's no amazing Mind Television song. We knew he had gone mad. All the knights and sages in the council went to his tower, either to bring him to his senses or destroy him. They never returned. Definitely don't have a Jag CD. I don't think many people do. I don't think this emulator also supports Jag CD, so it's one thing. Nothing really supports Jag CD yet. I ask you to help us with this problem. The reward we have to offer is to claim anything in the Daggan's tower. We will build a small keep to call your own. That's the plot, I guess. Basically a mercenary. You have a Jaguar and the CD. We might actually have a second Jaguar somewhere. Hey, Mr. J. Good as you remembered? No, it's not. Alright, so yeah, see if I remember my key bindings, because of course, if anybody's ever seen an Atari Jaguar game, think of a Genesis, 3-button Genesis pad, and then slapped on a fucking phone keypad at the bottom, so it's like, let's just throw 12 buttons, like, oh, we need more buttons on this thing. You know what has buttons? Telephone keypads. Alright, so we got the buff fighter dude. We got, I don't know, this guy, like, jack of all trades, master of none. Seems to be more of the magical dude. Merton's definitely the magical dude, yeah, the wisdom, intelligence. Andros seems to be like the thief dude. Passar seems to be like a generic John Everyman. I don't remember the magic being all particularly, like, plentiful, so I think we'll go with... I don't know if I was using German last time, I don't know. It's strength... Go back and forth with, like... I guess just reroll. Yeah. 18 dexterity, constitution. Gotta roll 20 strength. That constitution kind of sucks. Must punch head. 2012. Yeah, this looks good. Good enough. Except Uncle Andros. Where he still use overlays like the intelligent collective legal vision? Yeah. So replace CD games, not perfect. Can't keep the save files? Yeah, that could be a problem. Hey, there for death. Mainly because Jaguar emulation actually works now. So I had to go back to this game that I kind of put on hold, like way back in the day, because Jaguar emulation just wasn't perfect, and you know, the issue with it is it's this is your Jaguar for me. So yeah, going back to the Jaguar, see if I remember how to play this game. It's been like, gotta get used to the buttons because I bound everything certain ways. I think this is the map button. No, this is menu. No. This one's okay. You gotta make straight buttons. This is my map. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, there's like 12 levels. Yeah, it's 12 levels. I think I forget how far I got. I think I got maybe to level 5 during my initial playthrough this. Before, you know, my save got corrupted and was like, screw this. I'm not going back to this until they fix Jaguar emulation. What else did I have? My stats. I think if yeah, that'll be sleep. I'm sleeping right now. Punch. Alright. Keyboard and a mouse. Can you use keyboard and a mouse on the Jaguar? No, I'm using controller, but I bound everything in certain ways. So like all the important buttons are bound to certain keys. Gotta get used to. Man, going from like modern day to this, look at this amazing frame rate. I mean, this was impressive back in the time for sure, but this is like Kingsfield level of awfulness. Get back here. Talk to him. Good day. Remember one of these guys having a key? I don't remember which one. Oh, that was easy. Good day. Still have his dialogue box up. Golden key. Wooden mop. What's my stats? 5/5 attack. 5/9 attack, and do slightly more with the mop. Yeah, the werewolf game, I mean, that was really not an RPG, let's be honest. That one was definitely a hack and slash. The problem is, you know, most sites, because it's based on the World of Darkness kind of tabletop RPG series, like the Vampire the Masquerade, this guy can die real quick here. I should save. Damn. Died. Short sword. Pause. Oh, there we go. Good. Pause and then press the options button. B is this button. Yeah. Definitely want to do a cartridge save. Memory save wipes, I think. Settings toggle. Load the game. There. My 5 to 11 now instead of 5 to 9. Play slots in 3DO, oh yeah. Yeah, 3DO actually got a lot of support in Japan, didn't it? Surprisingly. Which is why, like, you know, there's a decent number of RPGs on 3DO, which is kind of odd. You wouldn't expect 3DO to have a decent number of RPGs, but, you know, I guess support in Japan, right? A collector's edition? That would have been rare in that era. Mr. J voting for Nep Nep? Never thought I'd see the day. Yeah, Nep-Nep's gonna win this one, isn't it? God, this... Getting used to the lag of this game. Food, it's my... 10... 21, good enough. Hey Baines, how's it going? Welcome to Really Old School Games. Tonight, dinner will be cancelled tonight, as they have like cheese and stuff on the... Cheese and really, really big apples, or is that a pumpkin? Yeah, I don't think the anti-Nep-Nep forces have a chance. In this case. What's this? Yep, Nep-Nep. Nep-Nep came up on the fastboard again. What a surprise there, right? You scary bunch when they just create a whole bunch of fake accounts. Wash your hands before leaving. Find the bathroom. Wait it. Any toilet cheese? The Jag is back. How's it going, Madrina? Old school. Going back to the old school, the really old school, overlay and everything. Classic. Man, just... the floaty controls takes some getting used to. I want to wash my hands. No boots. I don't know if I want boots I find inside of a bathroom. Defense is 2... Popping 1 defense. There it is, let's see. Yeah, I was kind of hoping, like, one of the, like, the Yakuza would show up or something. Yeah. That's pretty cool. But no, we just got a whole bunch of jank versus Nep-Nep, so... What am I gonna wash my hands in? A toilet bowl? There's no sinks. Is there anything behind these toilets, actually? Oh yeah, because those are definitely RPGs. I mean, consider it. So you have a main story, you have... It's an action RPG. So you have, like, skills to level up, as you do random encounters, combat. So you have random encounters that you do that increase your basically your skill points, your experience. You got side quests, you got the main quest, you got like tons of different armor and weapons you can equip. You got tons of like side quests. You got like kind of an open world thing to explore. It's a fucking RPG. Like, oh, it's modern world. Well, you know, that doesn't change it. Fucking RPG. Should get my health back. Right. This guy looks... ninja. Ah, get back here. Friendly? What kind of outfit is that? Wearing like some bloomers and... Hit him! Hit him! Dagger. I'm assuming that's not as good as a short sword. 5 to 11, 5 to 9. Sort of potion. Healing potion. Let's heal up. Sleep, I think. Sleep. Sleep. There. 12 food. Definitely have to be careful sleeping. I don't want to run out of food. He's wearing underwear outside his pants. His mom never taught him how to dress. Leave the poor guy alone. He doesn't understand what underwear means. So, like... Greetings, sire. Can't kill him. No keys. Stack? Of course they don't stack. Not in this era. Copper urn. It's not a bag. Assuming I don't need a copper urn. I remember the inventory system being pretty, like... Sephiroth! Druguru, thank you so much for the 39 months of awesome support. How's it going? Cheese makes crunch noise when you eat it. Yeah, maybe it's Parmesan cheese. Love. That was a chicken leg. I'm assuming that's worse. Well, that's the same, really. I don't know if this game has any sort of, like... You know, clubs are better against skeletons kind of thing. Do we even have skeletons in this? I don't remember. It's been too long. I vaguely remember some stuff about this game. Took a quick look at the VOD. Get a rough idea of how far I got, but... Pretty much playing this game from scratch again, in terms of, like, knowledge about where to go and what to do. Oh, Spirit Axe, here we go. First spell. I think it's this button for spells? No? By this button? Memorize Spirit Axe, alright. They'll cast the spell. That's like entire magic pool. One thing. Or chicken. It's the best kind. Burning in this is just like... Strafe, I guess, be easier. There's like hidden walls and stuff in this too. Go to the classic, like... Oh jeez, hello. Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Eat him! Why do I suck so bad at hitting things? Jesus. Can I dual wield swords? Can I? No. No, second attack button. Looks like a 5 in the making. Yeah, this game exists alright. Sleep. It's back to 16, man. Sleeping just eats your food up like crazy. Locked. Key. Now unlocked. Wait, just goes back out to the fucking main floor, was that? I'm gonna die. Oh god, there's two dudes. Fuck. Should have saved. Hey, living autopsy. How's it going? Give me your key. Key. Right here. Killed by a janitor. Embarrassing. My stance. Yeah, I need something with more dexterity or whatever. What the hell? My dexterity is 18. I mean, I have pretty high dexterity. I don't know why I can't hit the broadside of a barn. My THAC0 is like 1. I did play the first Towers on the on the Game Boy Color. Towers, Vance, whatever the hell it was. Seriously, stop it. Get back here. Why can't I hit anything? Jeez. Let's try this side. Let's go get that Spirit Axe spell. There's boots in here. Boots. Oh god. These controls are gonna... Yeah, and then when I had to like fucking... I had to like hack that ROM. I got to a point where there was like a puzzle where you had to throw things on a switch, but that switch was behind like some barriers, so you weren't able to go onto the switch yourself. You had to throw things at it, and you had to throw a specific thing onto it. Problem is with the coding in that game is that the first thing you throw on there is the only thing that gets thrown there, and then the game will refuse to accept anything else. So even if you throw the right item after you threw the wrong item, you're fucked. So I had to like hack the game, remove those barriers, hack the ROM, remove those barriers so I can go pick up the shit on there, because they did some bad coding. Yeah, I looked that up too, because that's why when I originally played this, and it was like, oh, there's a PC version of this too, but I could not find a PC version of this anywhere. eBay or like any sort of like obviously any rips of it. Maybe some like maybe there was planned to be on PC and just never came out. As far as I'm aware, this is the only version of this game, the Jaguar one. That would have made an exception and played the PC version of this back then if I had access to it. But as far like it did not exist as far as I could tell. Was it there now? I mean, I haven't checked recently, but either way, now we have perfect Jaguar emulation. Yes, people, this is perfect Jaguar emulation. This is how the Jaguar plays. Don't you just wish you had a Jaguar back in the day? See, if you did the math, this is what you would get. I'm tempted to divide by 0 for this game. I mean, I don't know if this... I mean, I guess this could have been impressive back in, you know, when it came out, but... This is basically running like... let's see. This is running worse than Kingsfield was. Spandex Ninja. I feel like an experience system. Oh damn. Hey Reg, how's it going? Yep. Of course I finished it. Wanted to beat that game so I didn't have to come back to it. I mean, it's not the most terrible game, but it's just a simple hack and slash. Like, in hindsight, you know, that game would have been removed from my list, but, you know, one of those... Every site out there has it listed as an RPG because, you know, it's based on the whole World of Darkness franchise. It's basically a tabletop RPG, so... Like, oh, this is an RPG? No, it's not. Definitely is not an RPG. Yeah. I mean, this is like your classic, you know, dungeon crawler, based more on Dungeon Master than anything, sort of, but with very floaty controls. Like, everything has momentum when you move, which is just, yeah. Oh, that sucks, Reg. Good old tonsils. Oh jeez, hit up. What? Good kiss. I'm gonna direct hit. Too tough. More often. Don't that load. Cancel. Wait, go back. Leave. Kingsfield game on the PSP, really? Didn't realize they made a Kingsfield for the PSP. Hey, Empress Chronicle, how's it going? A magic user behind there. Like, strafe these guys, just like circle strafe them. But circle strafing hard. Yeah, these guys just like turn instantly anyways, so this is not oh god, no, stuck on the thing. Man, trying to use a health potion, good luck. Where'd the other one go? Get back here. I don't know if his AI was trying to run away or just, you know... It scares sick. Yep. What a surprise, right? Shows up once and it's like, boom. That's all you're gonna get from now on. Nep nep. Every fast forward from now on is gonna have a fucking nep nep game. Go to Princess. Is it pretty bad too? Assuming all these guys carry short swords. Let's get level. This guy is hitting hard. Good. $30 food. I'm good. Scantily clad women. Scantily clad anime women. Nep nep show and fast forward. You don't let the genie out of the bottle, Reg. Once you let the genie out of the bottle, it just never leaves you alone. So yeah, nep nep will show up from every fast forward from here on out, guaranteed now. Because I rolled it now. Unlike Yakuza, who shows up once, never shows up again. Shows up once and loses, I should be specific on that. These guys even doing here? They're obviously guarding something. Get him! Get him! Hit him! These skills have increased. Hooray! I leveled up. Level 2 character. Attack went up. I don't know what else went up. Or food. What is this? Black Pearl. I remember carrying these for a while in the last game. I don't know if they were important. A lot of them. Which is gonna clog my fucking inventory, isn't it? I don't remember there being any shops or anything, so... They're probably needed somewhere, obviously. There's the bag. Nice. Another bag. Inventory systems in these early games. So brutal. Yeah, and I think this was like not a weapon, if I remember correctly. From quick look at the VOD my VOD I was looking at. Yeah, it's like not even usable as a weapon, unless it's something for magic or something. Like maybe it increases magic or something, but I remember doing nothing. Maybe it's like a quest item or something we need for somewhere else. Fast forward voting options pretty bad. How's it going, New Guard? What do you mean? We got like nep. Atelier Ryza. It'll be a long time before we get to play Atelier Ryza. What are these things? I don't know. Let's make a seed. Oops. Door. Old key door. That means gonna win through sheer persistence, probably. Nep will never leave us alone. Yeah, it's kind of like Atelier. Atelier showed up, what, like 3 times in a row or something? I'm surprised it took us long to get Nep game. I'm not surprised it showed up twice in a row, because of course it did. Okay. Why is it so hard to hit things? Looks like I got decent dexterity. It's not like I have like dexterity at 10. I can see that being a problem. Locked. Doesn't look like a gold door. Not fit. Need another key. Like, Plight is never gonna play a terrible RPG. I know, right? I mean, hey, maybe I'll actually like it. I've never played a Nep game, so... But I'm sure it's gonna be like, eh. stores locked, or they look the same? No, okay, I guess only some of them are locked. Check them all. Nope. Raised silver key. What's that? Oak. Defensive 5, 3. Head. Caps and helmets. 4. Helping 1 extra defense. That was a nip nip. Nip nip. Hyperdimension Neptunia. Nip nip. It's the colloquial term of the Neptunia series. The Nip Nip games. I did stab the janitor. It's not like he was gonna give me the key by himself. It's kind of annoying, like you have to basically murder these friendly dudes because they've got keys that you need to access places. And they run so fast. This is not a game where you have like very quick movement here. Nope, nothing. Just a mop. Adventure awaits. Yep, Nep Nep is inevitable. The shield. No. Can't pick up a shield. Nope. Trying to strike through the door, it's not working. God. This game just so slow to, like, everything just has momentum. It's just horrible. Five hours later. Can you get a level where I can start hitting things, please? Seriously? It's just too close to the dude. I was like stabbing behind him or something, I don't know. Ooh, a bow. We need arrows in this game? Oh god. Of course. Doesn't do me any good without arrows. Where does one find arrows? Yeah, limited release, so since it's limited release, I don't count it on my list. It has to be like a normal retail release. They basically just, it's like, yeah, we're gonna release like 1,000 copies of these. Like, screw them. It ain't on my list. Yeah. Classic D&D, right? And you're like rolling a die every time. It's like, alright. Gotta keep rolling that dice until I can hit. It's gonna be fun. Alright. Where's my food at? 11's. Eat some cheese. That easy being cheesy. Decent amount of food on this first floor, I hope. Oh. Andrew, no. GDQ's over now. Hooray. It was okay. Definitely not an RPG, though, in hindsight, but, you know. Kinda hard to tell. I'm going by what different sites listed as. Most sites had listed as an RPG. Because, you know, hey, it's based on, you know, an RPG franchise, therefore it must be an RPG, right? Back up. Those ninjas have such a weird outfit. It's Got his stealth panties on. He was drinking quick. Yep. It does help your health and magic restore over time slowly, but you can also sleep to make it restore quicker. Still hear enemies walking around, so there's still one more room. There's bathrooms down there. Other than that. All my furry fantasies were appeased by that one game. The non-existent ones. I'm assuming if your food goes to zero, like you know, classic RPGs, right? So if your food goes to zero, you probably like lose health over time. But if you sleep, it'll go down a lot quicker. So you know, you'll restore health quick, but you know, you're gonna like drop your food like crazy. Padded armor, I'm assuming it's better than this cloak. 5 defense, can I put this cloak anywhere else? Doesn't seem to count in that slot. Is it cloak slot? Necklaces, hats, gloves and rings. So I'm assuming it's like a shield slot, so yeah. Basically useless. A pile of rubble anyways. Got arrows. Quiver full. Alright, let's try the bow. Yeah, we're not gonna be changing weapons quickly, I'll tell you that. No, this is a 1996 game. This is like Atari Jaguar. Going all the way back to game 150 for this one. This is one of those games I couldn't beat back in the day because Jaguar emulation was bad, so I had to put it on hold until now. Now that we actually have a good Jaguar emulator out there with the big P-EMU. aka the one that Digital Eclipse designed for the Atari 50 collection. Sounds like there's somebody attacking, like there's that area on the map there. There's definitely people over there, but maybe I have to go upstairs and then back downstairs. So let's go upstairs. Yeah, so somebody's shooting stuff. Sounds like fireballs or something. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice thing for the community to like release this emulator. Like that's awesome of them to do that. And they didn't just make an emulator and then like, all right, you know, you guys can't use it. No, it's like, all right, we made an emulator. We know that there's not really any great Jaguar emulators out there. Here you go, guys. Enjoy. Awesome. It's rare for a company. So if y'all haven't picked up the Atari 50 collection, do so. Support them. I got my copy. Hashtag hack. No sponsor, just it's awesome of them. I like companies that do that. Nice little collection too. A lot of nice history. Should leave. Yeah, exactly. Ease. My food at 25. Hello. Excuse me, sir. I am trying to eat some food. What am I? Oh, it's my bow. Still full. I wonder how fast that goes through. I know. I'm like quick swap, is there? Of course there isn't. What am I thinking? The game of this era. Pottery jar. Nope. Guess you can break pottery. Maybe we should do that, because maybe there's like keys inside of them or whatever. Get back here, janitor. Imagine going around your day, just mopping around the place, and the guy comes into the room and stabs you to death. That would suck. Secret door? Yes, it is. What a weird getup for these ninjas. Like, they're wearing these weird pendants, spandex outfits with underwear on the outside. Like, what kind of design was that? Like, who chose that? Some sort of cult ninjas or something, I don't know. Yeah, it seems to be, right? But it seems like I want to keep it probably for enemies that are tougher. I can kite them or something. Because, I don't know how many arrows I'm gonna find. Now I'm stabbing every time, what the hell? As soon as I went up a floor, it's like, alright. Now I'll actually hit things. Maybe the game was bugged out on the first floor. Secret. Huh? They're like switches in the lampposts or something. Stuff. Cat. Leather cat. 5 defense. 6. Another cloak, I guess. Yeah. Keep that there. Yeah, just the ambient music. Right. PCs. We eat that? Gotta try. Say first. If it poisons us. What a weird combo to save. You gotta like pause and then press the options button. Good. You can't eat it. This looks like some weird feces. We throw it at things, instantly kill an enemy with hitting it with feces. Boons. Nope. Nope. Can I walk through this? No? Just like a little window? I know, right? It smells like poop, it tastes like poop. It's sticky like poop, it's probably poop. Lots of secret doors, at least they're relatively easy to spawn. Oh god, what the fuck is that thing? Fucking Cthulhu eyeball here. Yeah, I mean it's obviously like stuff on the PC are probably way more advanced to this in this era, but yeah, for a console game, I mean. So the controls are definitely very floaty because the whole momentum thing. Every time you move somewhere, you just like keep moving for a second, like when you let go of the button, which is kind of annoying, but. Somewhere FPS in virtual highlight, yeah, I know, right? I'll see. That's what you get with the if you do the math, you know. If you do the math, then you do get more power than the Saturn. The power of math. This game runs better than the SNES. I'd be impressed if the SNES could play this game. Technically not, yeah. Damn it, Sega did the math too, and they're like, nope. We still win. What's my food at? 17 was... Give me the protection. Send that. Defense of 6. Defense of 7, nice. More defense is good defense. Then there's 8 processors. I mean, look at the PS3. That thing's got like all the processors. Everybody knows that more processors is better because all the consoles with more processors have way better running games. Can't sound his GPU, yeah. Do. I'm assuming if I sleep and there's enemies nearby, they'll move faster. Or if they move the same speed. Food. I don't know what my maximum food is. I don't want to like waste food, but inventory is gonna get pretty limited, so. See how much food we can eat. Can we go like 99 food? Stop us, okay. It tells us. Full. Ugh. Or if you see hidden doors in the map too. I think there was a door I passed. Beef jerky. More food. Floor jerky. Oh no, like the problem with any console with more processors is that it's hard to program for. You have to program specifically for it, while the simpler consoles usually win out in terms of just better running games. If you have a multi-console game, it's easier to program for, so of course you're gonna design for that console to begin with, and then port it over to the other console and do a horrible job because that other console just it's hard to make it work correctly, right? Of course, games built from the ground up on that other console could potentially run better, but we ate food. Okay, well, I guess I don't need to pick up food. I could just use magic. So, stop picking up food. Hey, Phil the Bear. The timer started at 5.5 hours because that's how much I played on the original game, and I didn't want to mess up all my timers and all that stuff. So I basically kept that time, and I'm just adding to it. Even though it's a fresh new start of the game, I still technically played the game like ages ago. If I really wanted to, I can go look at my VODs and see, you know, exactly what I've done. But Seeing map. So you don't see those secret. I mean, you kind of see there's like a square on the inside there. So you do kind of potentially see there might be a secret door there. Yeah, slim Japanese PS2 can't run PS1 games properly? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they got rid of that hardware. So of course, it won't be perfect emulation because it's software versus, you know, hardware. Just like the PS3, right? The PS3 can, for the most part, could run... What's the point of coming in here? Nothing in here. I wonder if I could shoot bows through this. Could like I just snipe somebody if they're in that room? Looks like there should have been something in here. Like, what's the point of having a secret area with no reward? There's a vague text crawl at the beginning. Something about... I forget why we're going in here, but our reward if we succeed is to be able to get anything out of the Daggan's tower or something like that. So, basically, any treasure we want. Some weird thing. I don't know, some sort of big bad is in this tower and we gotta, like, kill him. You know, typical plot of just, like, Here's a nonsense reason. It's like a platformer, you know. Missed it. Missed the room. Alright, next floor. I didn't finish exploring that hallway there. Double check. Nothing at the end. There we go. Evil wizards. Typical RPG. Typical Western RPG plot point. Evil wizard must kill. Alright, so all that was down here is XP. There's some windows. Wanna see a window? I'll show you a window. I'm gonna go there anyways. There we go. Thing respawn was... I thought I killed everything. Felt like I killed everything. I mean, I've been everywhere, so we must have respawned. Yes, you want a window? Here's a window right over here. If I can get to it. Window. Isn't it glorious out there? Look at those hills. Floor 3. Another window. I mean, to be fair, big stone towers wouldn't really have a lot of windows, right? Yep, the sequel to the famed Towers, which was released on the Game Boy Color for reasons. Should save. I'll give you a memory save, but you only want to use that if, like, let's say you want to test something, and you're just gonna not gonna be resetting the console. Random urns. Lots of food, but I don't think I want to pick up food anymore. Not really any point. We gotta create food, which I don't know how easy it is. I mean, I can always save, scum it if I need to create food. Let's not waste my inventory. Doesn't do anything. Empty room. I guess I had food. In case you missed that great food spell or whatever. I was just standing there and minding his own business. Stop. Stairs down. Was there? I didn't see any stairs up. So I saw the door open. Interesting, these guys actually open doors themselves too. That's something you don't see often in this era. NPCs that open doors. Oh, there is a stairs up here. More food. Magic resistance ring. Sure. Or, excuse me. Trying to, like... You'd had like a minute to stab me in the back. Maybe my defense is too high, so he wasn't doing any damage. My screen was shaking as if I was getting hit, but... Maybe 6 was 5. Damn it. Gotta get rid of my food. Copper urns everywhere. Do anything with these? Doesn't seem like it. No. This room. Oh. Either missing a door somewhere. But like secret? Like maybe not one you can click, but one you can just walk through. Just goes back downstairs, right? I've already explored this area. This is a secret path, like on the upper edge. Explored one, there's not really much else I can do either. There's clearly areas outside that we can't reach. Maybe there is secret walls somewhere. Wouldn't be any secrets like in the bottom area, so it'd have to be up here somewhere. Is any of these that looks different than the rest? I mean, this game isn't very conducive to, like, you know, just pressing every wall. not like Doom or Wolfenstein where you just like hold down the space bar and you kind of have to manually go into this every time to touch a wall. If there's any of these that looks different. This guy came from somewhere, so maybe some of these walls are like fantasy walls. Alright, let's put up against the wall. Stairs down. Oh. Already stuck. I have to go rewatch my VOD. Like, what did I do here? I'm pretty sure I got to like floor 5-ish or something. At least 4 or 5. I definitely went up a couple more floors. Spent 5 hours. That's one of these walls. Problem is those the walls that were secret, you know, they're plain gray walls. There's this little tiny gold thing on it, so it was relatively easy to spawn in those walls. Something like this, which is a lot more complicated design, would be a lot harder to spot differences on the walls. I look for a different design. Yeah. Get in there. There. Alright, let's go back downstairs, I guess. This is the first game, well, it's the only game I had to like skip because it was like a game that I couldn't keep playing. Like the emulation really wasn't working, right? So, and there was a couple other games early on I skipped, but those were because they weren't RPGs, and I skipped them You know, this is before I did a little more research into the games before playing them. Then again, I played games like friggin' that werewolf one. Really wasn't an RPG. But at this point, any game I start, I will beat. So this one here, yeah. Main reason this one was put on hold is because of just it wasn't playable. Like the emulation was basically crashing, and it was like, yeah, didn't really have a choice. Alright, let's go back. Basically check this entire place out. So it's gotta be another, maybe it's like a secret, I mean, there's clearly another part of this floor here that I can't, I haven't seen. There's a hidden switch somewhere. Gold thing on the wall. Yeah, well, they released a you know, new emulator that actually works well. So if you call, that definitely did something. Is there another pull chain? Map change anywhere? Not obviously. The map might not update. That might have opened up something in the later floors, in the upper floors. Okay, nothing obvious on the map. When I'm finished my goal. I don't think there's a way of finishing this goal though, Cerberus. The way I have it, well, I mean, technically the way I have it worded, if they stop making physical releases of games on consoles, then technically that would be the end of RPG Quest. If I somehow make it through the entire library of RPGs up to that point before, you know, I leave the mortal coil, if you will, which is unlikely. I mean, I've got at least another, like, you know, 40 years plus of RPGs to get through. Who knows? Good try, Tex. Good try. No streaming on Pornhub. Pornhub Hex. I don't know what that switch did, but didn't seem to do anything obvious. Digital only? Well, then I guess we can't play them. Yeah, Steam's right. Maybe that weird, like, looks like maybe a secret door would exist place? No? What the hell? What about button though? Already have Nep, yeah. Exactly. Let's go back to that room. I mean, most likely that little switch did something in that room, so... Can't see it doing anything else anywhere else. There's nothing obvious on the second floor, so... Keeping in the middle here. No, like teleporter that unlocked or anything. Maybe there's like more of those switches along the edges. Let's see. Secret. Nice. I don't know what that thing did. Dagger. Throw daggers at enemies. Don't think it does any damage. I think I'd be able to do critical damage to a freaking eyeball by stabbing it with a short sword. First walking simulator, yeah, pretty much, right. Keep forgetting which one I've set as B. No, of course I don't. This game's like $1 million. I wasn't about to buy a Jaguar in this game, but now they finally have working emulation, like good working emulation for Jaguar. I had to go back and beat it. Because the emulator I used was the only emulator that even ran the game back then, but the problem is it crashed too often, and there's a point where my save file got corrupted, and it was like, alright, I can't trust this emulator anymore. Especially, you know, you don't want to go 10-20 hours into a game and wipe out your saves, so it was like, I'll wait, put it on hold. But now, I can't put it on hold anymore. We got a working emulator, thanks to Digital Eclipse. Got a GameCube. You guys predicted the future, man. Exploding cube. Let's leave that there. We need it for something. I saw these like black pearls and stuff. I don't know if these are like, also this like mace of the elements, which I don't know if I even figured out how to use that in the first, like when I first played this. Using a Falcon version. Open door. Open door. Is this guy... You got a friendly ninja? Maybe I should talk to everything before I stab them. They're just walking around. Freaking like... Ninja with a pendant and spandex. Maybe he's not a ninja, I don't know. I'm assuming he's a ninja. He's got a freaking dagger, right? He's a friendly neighborhood ninja. Wanted to live his life. I mean, if you were a warrior in this era, you probably look like shit too. Let's be honest. I'm wearing a little leather cap and that's it. I don't really have good face protection. Alright, let's put it for this side. Still haven't found a path to go past. There's gotta be some stairs here that gets me to part of level 2 I couldn't reach. I know what that pull chain... Maybe that pull chain unlocked this door? I don't know if the door was visible before I hit the pull chain. Yeah, that's why he's going into this dungeon. He's gonna wish for a wife. He doesn't have a chance otherwise. Weird growl from that eyeball. Unless there's something else behind me here. A friggin' minotaur as soon as I turn around. Runes. Some more feces. The Nip Nip dungeons. Wait, no, isn't that what's that game there? The Omega Omega Labyrinth or whatever. Isn't that basically the plot of that series? Assuming there's gonna be stairs here, because nothing else. These guys are respawning or just like dodged it somehow. Stab, stab, stab. Let me switch to my bow. But these things are fast. Come on. Jesus. Sometimes I can hit things really easily, and other times I just can't hit them worth a damn. Alright, steers up. Wind. It's not attacking me. Fart. Someone told me that all creations begin with a desire. Now, if only I could figure out the rest out. These ninjas friendly. It's just weird. He's not friendly. Oh, I was gonna say those traps. They are. The entrance and read those signs. So many signs. Assuming it's a puzzle, I have to like press these in a certain order. Set lever, alright. There. Spurred by desire. I think I say something to that effect. No. We didn't write down what he said the first time. Authorized personnel only. Alright. Please leave scrolls where you found them. Doing that. I don't want these things clogging up my inventory. In that which creates. Spurred by love. Watch out for the plates. You could kill us all. Plates. Yeah, apparently. Spurred by hate. Spurred by love, spurred by hate. Seems like one of those is like the starter one. And which creates. Four things, so I'm gonna reset lever. Spurred by desire. Press the thing. Be like closer. Hit him with one of the traps. Because you don't need to kill things to get your skills increase, or to level up. You just need to, like, hit them. I think I mentioned something at the beginning there, and I didn't write down something to do with these. Spurned by... maybe it's... probably like spurned by... spurned by love, spurned by hate, spurned by desire, and that would creates or something. No? Really wish I'd written down what the dude said. Yeah, well, there's supposedly some wizard dude who's obviously gonna be on the last floor, unless he's like, you know, there's a secret area on the lower floor that you have to reach the top floor to get there. Yeah. Alright, so we got spurned by love, spurned by hate, then which... spurned by desire, maybe spurned by love. Maybe we don't have to hit all three, but... just like... let's try like... I tried spurned by desire, let's try spurned by love. I'm assuming it has to be all. Let's... nobody create. No. It's probably gonna be all four. Clearly that which creates gonna be the last one, so let's try. I tried love, hate. I mean, it seems like kind of a rhyme, so love, hate, desire, create, right? Let's try desire, hate. Which one's desire? This one? Let's try that. That seems to rhyme, so... Love wasn't the right one. It is respawning. Okay. There's no sound when you actually do it right either, so... Those desire... What's it again? Desire, hate, love, create. The biggest problem with this one is the momentum. Like, everything just has this... this, like, weird momentum thing. Like, when you let go of the button, it still, like, continues. So... Everything has weight to it, which is super annoying. I mean, to be fair, compared to something like Kingsfield, right? PlayStation 1 kind of version of this. Clearly, like, a way of falling from above here. There's like a hole above me. Was there... I think there was something that let us fly. If I remember correctly. Or, like, I stopped the game, so this would be somewhere to use that. You make notes on the... That'd be too advanced. We can make notes on the actual... I keep saying too advanced, but I mean, Ultima Underworld would have been out at this point. Ultima Underworld had all that shit, but of course it was a PC game, and this isn't. Another area here. A couple areas here where you'd be able to, like, hover up. As far as I'm aware, no. Maybe one of the buttons I didn't bind lets me do that, but... There's a couple buttons I didn't bind because they didn't seem to be useful. I don't think I need the, I don't think I need the silver key anymore and this gold key. Seem to be useful on the first floor. Let's try not to use up extra inventory room if I don't have to. There's no enemies, or anything for that matter. Unless they're all gonna fall from above. Missing a whale's voyage on Jaguar. I mean, considering the era this came out, this isn't the worst game. Like, obviously compared to a modern game, yeah. Horrible, but... You know, if you're one of the 5 people out there that had an Atari Jaguar back in the day, you could have done much worse. So hey, having an RPG to play on your Jag, a blessing in disguise. Just loops around. There was on the Game Boy Color. That game was also ass. Especially since there was there's like a puzzle near the end of the game where you're supposed to throw something onto a switch that you can't access normally, like you can't walk onto it, but there's like a barrier so you can throw things over it. You throw the wrong thing at the beginning, which I did, then you're basically screwed because you can't get that thing off the switch, and you have to have the right thing on the switch first in order to pass that puzzle. So I end up having to, like, freaking hack the ROM and get rid of those barriers so I can go onto this, walk onto the switch and get rid of those items so I can actually continue the game. That was fun. So yeah, really bad design there. Like, oh, you screwed up and you saved your game? Well, I guess you're just gonna be starting the game from scratch again. Battle axe. Gotta be better than a short sword. 5 to 11. 5 to 14. Why is this 5 still the default? Falchion sword. 6 to 14. Is that better than a fucking battle axe? Weird. Screw the battle axe. Looks like a very blunt sword. Longbow, I'm assuming it's better than a short bow. Five to 11. 7 to 13, damn. Quiver. Secret door is locked. We need the silver key. Go grab that silver key back. Yeah, pretty much. Gotta love those dead man walking scenarios, right? That's a bad, really bad design, especially since you can't reach the switch. It's like the only puzzle was like that in the entire game. You throw the wrong thing, you're fucked. Like, I didn't realize... Like, there's like kind of a clue to the thing, and then I realized after I threw the thing, oh no, I threw the wrong thing, so let me throw the right thing, nothing happened. I'm like, okay, what... And then I tried throwing everything at that switch, nothing... Like, isn't... The door that was supposed to open wasn't opening. So I'm like, alright. One time I actually went and like looked up a thing online, and sure enough, I was... The thing I threw, the second thing I threw was the right thing. Of course, that guy didn't mention like why, so I'm like, okay, well something's broken here. So I basically modded the ROM, found out where like I basically hacked the ROM, figured out like, luckily all the maps were like basically in ASCII inside the ROM, so I went to that floor, found where those barriers are, replaced those barriers with floor tiles. So it just basically removed the barriers, and then I was able to walk on the switch and remove all the shit from the switch, and then put the right thing on the switch, and then opened up. It's like, no, I tried all the... this is the first one I tried. So it's not the right keys. So yeah, it's just bad design. I don't remember... I think it was the 5th floor... I don't know. I mean, it was 5 hours into the game, so... Unfortunately, I didn't look at my latest VOD. I took a quick look at the VOD just to get an idea of, you know... More doors we can't open. Let's double check. I don't want to carry out like a million keys around, but... Look like jails. It's probably like a jailer key or something. Good. I kind of don't want to find more doors that use these keys. I don't have to keep lugging them around because inventory is very freaking limited in this. Open that one. How did that thing open doors? Flagella open the door, I guess. Shield. Maul shield. Defense. Non-defense. Nice. Semi-caca demons, yeah. So we're steadily getting upgrades, so that was good. Oop. Heal after this. Sleep. I should really try creating food just to see how reliable it is, if I can actually cast it. Seems to be easy enough. Jaguar. Should use my bow until I run out of arrows, because I got 2 stacks of arrows. I don't want to be like lugging these things around for a long time. Yeah, I believe it. Surprised they sold that much to begin with. Nice. Get a heal spell. That, equipped. Oops. Gives us defense. Bring it with me. Let's keep the magic one. I do remember the little bit of the VOD I looked through, which is, I think, is around the place I crashed. Actually, I was just curious to see like where my first crash was in the VOD, and that's basically around here is where I crashed the first time. Like, uh-oh, game's not stable. This one seems to be a lot better. I know, right? Gonna be easy mode now. Although we're not a magician, so I imagine I'll probably fizzle trying to cure wounds I cast in battle. I didn't get another key or anything in here. Right now, I don't really have any sort of... I did see a secret door in that path, but maybe there's one for the other path too. Loaded controls are just... Maybe the feces is a key. Hey JD, how's it going? Feces. Poop. Don't pick up a poop. What are you doing? Put that back. Alright, nothing else in here as far as I can tell. No keys. Are you sure I tried my key on this one? Fit. Okay, so it didn't fit that secret door there, but maybe it fits the other. Maybe there's another secret door on the lower side. Don't see one. Aww. It's a football game, nice. Maybe there's a on this wall. Oh, right here. Nice. Please be a key in here. Please be something that will pull chain. Do that, unlock that door. Okay. And there's the key we need. Hooray. Cold iron key. Assuming I don't need this one anymore. Put it here. Let's put all our keys here. Yep, good luck, progress. I don't know. It's one of those games that, like, if you just want a mindless hack and slash, that's basically what it was. As an RPG, it's definitely not an RPG. So if you're going into thinking it's an RPG, don't. I played it so you don't have to. It's a hack and slash with basic, like, skill level ups or whatever. It's based on World of Darkness, but it has nothing to do with, like, there's no RPG elements, really. I know you were after me. Oh no. He knows. I'm sorry, but... Call me a butt. No, this is in-game. Which is nice, they give you a full, like, mini-map in-game. It helps tremendously. Goes for the win. Damn. I like bows. We're still full. Yeah, pretty much, right? I had to dredge it back up. It's like, all right, well, you know, the game was using this old background. I have to the previous run in this background, so I got to use it again with some new concessions. Classic RPG Quest. RPG Quest Retro. From this point on, guess this guy never finished sentences. Bunch of trash. We already have a leather cap. Same. Good armor. Hand axe. Worse. Yep. I mean, I already did a rewind for the Towers of Doom and Robot Warlord. This is technically the last rewind unless I missed some other games along the way. not aware of any other ones I missed up to this point, other than games that are like, you know, debatably RPGs. No, the Atari Jaguar. Atari Jaguar was a console. Atari Jaguar was a console that nobody bought because, you know, everybody did the math and realized that it's absolute trash. Consider yourself mine. Enemy and prepare to. Gonna do something, I just knew it. Well, Fire Emblem was one of those rare ones that I actually had a digital version of the game, and since Fire Emblem came up on the fast forward, and I own the digital version on the Switch, we played that one, even though it's technically a fast forward because the game only got released in 2020 or whatever. But you know, it's a rewind. It's a fast forward rewind. 6 to 14 versus 6 to 14. I don't know if there's like a difference between different kind of weapons. These look identical, actually. So why have two different swords that do the exact same shit? Leaving the notes, yep. My bow back on. Zip one of these quivers. Yeah, well, technically it was not a physical re-release, because there was never a physical release of that game. Even if you get the collector's edition of that game, it's not physical. You just get a download code. So that game is purely digital in every way. But if it's a digital version I own, then I'll add it to the fast forward list, but I won't add it to my main list, so... Die! Oh no! God. Oh, wasn't a very successful attempt at killing me. Didn't even take any damage there. Level 3. What am I doing? God, those eyes move so fast. More stuff. How many more quivers? Take them. Dude, just kill his buddy. Nice of him. Well, there's only 12 levels. That part's easy to tell by looking at the map. Okay, so we did use up... I was curious to see how fast we use up a quiver. It's not super fast, but it's also, you know... when we going all out. I love how I'm like going faster than the fucking arrow practically. Ready, set, go! I can almost pick it up. one thing I wonder, because I mean, this emulator has ways of making this game run better than it does on the Jaguar. Like, obviously, you know, I want to run it like it ran on the original system, but I'm curious. I haven't really explored the settings too much. Let's see. No. System settings. Rendering thread. Software. So many different options. Litter speed. I don't know. I don't want to try fastest blitter speed. Just curious. Nope. I don't think it's a. There's probably ways of making this like actually run like actually good, but I don't know. I haven't played these settings. I don't want to be messing anything up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, unless you're using blunt arrows, I'm pretty sure picking up spent arrows would be, like, a bad idea. Arrows would kind of get shattered every time you use them. Hey, Varys. Yes, we did. Thanks to Digital Eclipse. They made an emulator for that they use for their Atari 50 game, and they released it. They released it basically in the emulator out to the public because there was no, you know, there's no really good Jag emulators out there. So they're like, here you go, guys. So it's very nice of them to do that. God, it takes a while to cast that spell. Alright, can't rely on healing. Yeah, Digital Eclipse Game Studio. When they made one, because they made the Atari 50 compilation thing, right? And of course, in that there's some Jaguar games, so they basically made a pretty good Jaguar emulator for that. It's basically like fully accurate because they probably had access to all the Jaguar like design documents, so they're probably able to make an emulator that was perfect for it. You know what I mean? Instead of just, you know, just trying to make it work, they had like the actual schematics and everything. So, you know, you can make basically a perfect emulator using that stuff. So they made this, and then I guess they were allowed to release it to the public as part of the deal, which is awesome. No, door to animal training is not working correctly. We'll fix soon. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And one of the exploding cubes. I haven't tried. Maybe we could throw that cube. Maybe that's like something you throw and goes boom. Yeah, okay, so it's basically just a grenade, pretty much. Intacs and some poop. You should just call it poop. Not feces, poop. Where am I? I'm over there. So tempting to, to play with those settings to make this game run smoothly, but I mean, playing with those settings probably would mess things up more likely than. And you know, this is console accurate. Elemental planes, that sounds dangerous. Going to this guy's castle and suddenly we're going to the elemental planes. Seems like we're gonna have to go to the elemental planes, aren't we? No, just search for Big P Emu and should be able to find links to it pretty easily. I forget the exact site, but should be able to find links to it quite easily out there. Library main entrance. Library seems safer than elemental planes. Let's make a save. I don't know if it's like a one-way trip. Oh yeah, I mean, it's probably tied by mentions and on those sites, but yeah, just search for Big P Emu like that. Search for that. That'll bring it up pretty easily enough. From what I understand, it's basically 100% like compatibility with at least in the non-CD games. I don't think it has CD compatibility yet. The game's fine. It's not the the best running games, but I mean, that was a one-way trip. But for the era, I mean, this would have been impressive for the era. The worst part of the controls is like the floatiness of it. Like you just, you move and there's like a momentum. Even your cursor here, like this cursor has momentum. You let go and it doesn't stop. Like it just goes a little further than what you would expect it to do. No, Whale's Voyage was on the Atari CD32. Back to the other place. Yeah, we're back here, okay. Luckily it wasn't a one-way trip. Yeah. Everybody's tying this to Whale's Voyage somehow, I don't know why. No, it never had music. If you want music, you gotta play the DOS version. And it's not like music would have helped that game in any way. I just noticed there's like a note on the floor there. I spot the note because you're like standing on it when you zone in. Access restricted. Unnatural elements and beings in upper levels. Extremely dangerous. Car control supports animorphs. Why though? Come on. Yeah, I've never seen an Amiga CD32 in Canada either. I mean, supposedly you can get them in Canada, but yeah, no, I don't think anybody ever carried it here. Because Amiga wasn't ever big in Canada either, so I don't think any shops would have gone out of their way to sell it. Maybe you could get in like specialty shops or like order some in or something, but definitely wasn't a common thing. Good. to switch over to her bow. God. He's on to help. Been using entire quiver on this dude. AVGN destroyed his video. People were mocking for saying it's wrong to destroy out-of-print rare consoles. Yeah. You know what? People could do with their consoles anything they want because it's theirs, so... It's not like he would have gone out and sold it or let anybody else have it, so... Food... Shit over there. A whole bunch more of those black pearls. I still don't know what the hell those do. Why do these things move so fast? Freaking floating eyeballs. Things should be slow. Just go from like full to empty. I mean, that's that eyeball tried to attack me and hit this guy instead. Sleep. Eat. No stomach pains. That's good. Yeah, I guess I could turn off that revisiting thing on revisiting timer thing. Timers off. Fast forward on. On. Why is it not turning on? There. Alright. Let's explore this place now. Oh, let's read that sign. What did I do with those combinations? Did you do with those combinations? And why are you writing a note to yourself? Asking yourself why? It's a rock? Throw this on a switch somewhere, probably. Bunch of shit over here. Diamonds. I don't know if there's any point to having any of this shit. Diamonds, black pearls, any of that. There's a lot of this stuff around, but maybe we'll keep like one of each or something just in case they're needed. Maybe two of each. Like, I don't think there's any shops. Like, maybe there's an NPC that'll trade. I really should try talking to anything that doesn't attack me. Because they might have info. His AI is broken. He's just showing himself off. He's just dancing. Dancing, dancing, dancing robot. Got 1,000,000 hit points though. We're still level 3. And definitely don't level up very fast in this game. No, it's not a robot. It's like a stone elemental or something. He's just doing the robot. Yeah, it's pretty much just, you know, nep. I mean, I was sure Nep would have won last time, and now it's like, it's a guarantee. I doubt anything can stand up to Nep this time. It's got too many votes in the previous showing. It's locked. What's that do? Didn't seem to do anything. You freeze to vote for Nep. Another romantic comedy. Switches on the floor. And what those do. You have to like hit them in a certain order. Oh. Rid of that one. I am excited to play this. Get it off my list. Stone of Weight. Okay, well, probably need this on those platforms. Okay, just broken on these things. It's like they go into like flea mode or something. I mean, I don't know what I'm expecting out of this game in terms of, like, AI, but... Death End... Trying to do something different? Well, it's the same company, though. It's Comp All Hearts. Death Re-End is basically Nep, but not. Yeah. The fast-forward randomizer just... Once I got Nep, the randomizer is just gonna throw it in there every game from now on. Maybe 6 out of 5. My god, this is so amazing. Why did I wait so long to play this amazing game? Like, this is like the epitome of game design. Call Nep all the time. Now, this channel is now known as Nep Quest. Didn't even make a click. Using Core had no trailers because it's a licensed game? Yeah, probably. I had to make my own. I literally just started up the game on my 3DS, like record the intro cinematic, and just a little bit of like the tutorial gameplay, and that was it. Left intentionally blank. Damn it. It's like those pages at the beginning of books. Levitation potions. Alright, definitely need those to... Definitely want to save those, though. There's a couple spots below that had, like, places you could go up. Nothing in this room where I need to levitate. Took a lot of damage there. Once you attack them, they just run away, which is good because they do a lot of damage otherwise. Nearly all these stone elemental dudes are cowards. Get back here. I wonder if I use like a club or something, if that would make a difference. Well, really, there's only a club was the closest. It was the only blunt thing I've seen so far. Everything else is just like an axe or a sword. It increases your defense. As far as I can tell, there's no blocking button, so it's just for extra defense. God, these things have a million frickin' hit points. Oh crap. Decided to hit back. I don't want to accidentally jump into that pit. The momentum this game has would be very possible. Jesus. Yeah, probably. Bag of weightlessness. But okay, I don't think I need this anymore. It'll actually reduce anything I put in there. My weight is 100 out of 160. My stone of weight and my bag of weightlessness does. Good old bags of holding. It's kind of necessary in EverQuest as a monk. It was like a heavily sought after item. Anything that reduced. I don't know if this Mace of Elements is for anything. As far as I could tell, this does nothing in terms of damage. Like, I'm thinking maybe it's for like magic users, increases like maybe magic damage. But alright. Let's hit this thing. We need to go down. What's below us here? Where am I? There. An area I've already been to. No, maybe not. Is it above? Yeah. So I haven't actually been there. Save. Save to memory save. Friendly dude or a bad dude? Not talking. Well, that was pointless. I'm gonna waste my I've just got the axe, spirit axe. Seems like you get one per floor. Got the healing, spirit axe, and create food. Healing is basically useless because it like barely heals me and takes most of my magic. So it was better just to sleep and then create food to sate my hunger. How do I open this rock? So far it seems like it's been pretty random in terms of how to open these. Keep pressing the switches until something happens. Did that, still locked. I tried, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Or maybe on this one. I tried before. I didn't try on this one specifically, but one thing it doesn't click either, which is kind of like extra confusing. I only have one thing of weight too. Maybe I need to throw all those rocks I keep seeing. Controls. That's why I'm thinking like the rock weight or whatever doesn't do anything because it doesn't click, but I mean, maybe it doesn't need to click. There's definitely some places I need to use this these levitation potions though. Let's grab some rocks just out of curiosity. There's a whole bunch around here, even though they're not like a weight or something. They might work. Maybe there's like a certain like amount of weight needed on each of these. And if I could hear a click, and I know maybe there's enough weight. Rock. There's also that switch I hit, which I don't know what that did. I'm curious if I put all these on here, will it click? No. Sound might only happen if you step on it. Let's try one on each one just to see what happens. I mean, the other ones have been kind of random too, like how I've activated them. Like I've just been stepping on random triggers and all of a sudden the rocks are gone. No rhyme or reason. Use a specific, like, pattern you need to hit. But it seems like once they're gone, they're gone. But these ones never came back after, like, they disappeared. It's gone now. Just randomly, right? Just randomly disappears. There's reasons. Take this with us just in case somehow we need a stone of weight. We can save after that. Kill this guy and open that secret door. Luckily, the secret doors are relatively easy to spot since they have like something that stands out on the background that they're on. This guy's attacking me. I'm not hitting him. Why can't I hit him? The pile of rocks. It shouldn't be hard to hit. Seriously, what the fuck? Sometimes it's gotta be because I'm too close. It's gotta be it, because I'm like hugging him or whatever. Like I can't hit worth a damn. When I back up a little bit, it seems like I have it's more reliable. Yeah, this is like the pile of rocks with the highest dexterity in the game. The ninja rock. He runs pretty damn fast considering he's a pile of rocks. Don't kill me, please. I wonder how, like, if I just sleep. Yeah, so they don't seem to run any particularly faster when you're sleeping. As long as you can kind of move out of range enough. This makes... God. Oh god, no. Shit. Ooh. It's true. Yeah, should have like... What the hell? Seriously? Okay, you stay in that corner. I can hopefully stab you. Why am I still level 3? Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I'd be like level 50 by now. Fighting these pile of rocks. I mean, these seem definitely like a decent level. There's no experience, like, in your current level thing. Full switch is probably for this thing. Unlock this one out. Black diamond. Black pearl, got diamonds and got black diamonds. I don't know if any of these are useful. Maybe we need to pay somebody at some point. Lock that last door I saw. Hey, Cornhusker. How's it going? Yep, one person dungeon crawler. Hey, Mocha-chan, we did. There's a good Jaguar emulator out there now that actually is reliable. So I'm going back to beat this game. I mean, the game itself still runs like ass, because it's a Jaguar game, but at least it's... I don't have to worry about it, like, crashing on me constantly. Okay, I definitely need the levitation potions here. Of course, had to go back to classic. So if I use like a levitation potion here, will it bring me up to the upper floor? Yeah. It does. Does not last very long though. Like miss them completely, look like it went past them. Yeah, this is like the only Jaguar RPG, so... So yes, very, very small. Orcs and elves, oh yeah? Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of that in, like, especially on portable games. You're not gonna get that too much on console games at this point, but... Except, you know, games that aren't really RPGs, like Werewolf game. Sniping time. Rip my arrows. Good try, Tex. Good try. And I'm out of arrows. Damn it. Just out of curiosity. I go to one of these other places. There's a bunch of places where there was like levitation areas. I go back to one of those. I only have 2 levitation potions, so I think if I vaguely remember, there was a levitation spell I think I had to find. I think it was I had to levitate somewhere. I vaguely remember that back when I played the game. I've gone to the library too. Yeah, well, in that one there, it could have been there. I just want to go back. There was a spot earlier on. I don't remember what floor it was, but there was definitely a spot where there was a whole bunch of like levitation areas. Like you could see the holes in the ceiling. How do I? Maybe get in here originally. Sure. I don't remember how we got onto this floor to begin with. I don't see any stairs. We teleported in here, didn't we? Yeah. Like a one-way teleporter. Let's reload. I think kills you in one hit. That's great. Sounds like fun. Okay, let's just go to this one. Maybe that spell there, maybe this is a spell for levitation. 8 wall. Odd, but sure. Put it in here. Use a duplicator. I mean, it looks like I missed 2 spells. I'm sure it's in those areas, because I do vaguely remember having to use levitation in like those earlier areas to get areas I couldn't get to, and gave me a spell. It might have been levitation spell. Very, very vague memories of this stuff. Let's create wall do. It's like a shield spell. I don't even have enough mana. I can't even use it. A friend of yours visited Canada and said it was awesome. Tell your friend he's welcome. I don't know if they want us... Like, there's pressure plate things there, but... If I'm just the right distance, I can throw that stone of weight. Maybe it'll, like, close a pit or something. And then pretty much right on it, so... Can't jump. Or not get hit by any glaciers. If only there was glaciers in Canada. I still have that library thing to go to, so maybe there's something in the library. Go there first. I don't want to waste these. I only have 2 of these potions, and knowing this era of gaming, it could definitely be like soft lock if you use something you're not supposed to use at a certain point. I create wall spells pretty useless for me right now, so. Kill drones with shotguns. Yeehaw. Check out the library. Look, damn it. Teleporter maze, isn't it? Friendly. Sir? I'm not attacking. They are now. Yes, it is. Especially in Alberta. Beef jerky. Nom. Place when a non-American country watches Breaking Bad. Just never happened anywhere but USA, yeah. Yeah, pretty much, right? Some golem dudes. Come on. Hit. Oh, why is it so hard to hit things? This thing hits hard. I can't hit. Fucking hell. Alright, let's make a full save over there. Maybe choosing fighter was not the best idea. You should have chosen mage. Of course, like, the spells are very limited, so mage at this point would have had the magic axe, and that's it. Which I guess if I could spam that, it's a range attack. Like, unlimited, you know, if you rest up, you get unlimited mana. So, technically... I also have these 2 other, characters saved here. These go. Back here. I think I know the one you're talking about, but I can't remember the name. It was on like Genesis and fuck is it? Kadash, yes. That's the one. Caution, under construction. It's below this. This one's an area we've already been to. Oh, this actually would be... Okay, yeah, this is the area that had all those pits. But... if there's an area here that I can't reach, at least I'll have an idea if I need to, like, levitate from down below. Friend? Not friend. At halftime, currently, nice. Yeah, 16 Genesis. One had like less classes than the other, or something. One was easier than the other, so it was like both of them sucked in different ways. Nope, somebody ripped a hole through that thing. Well, they could. Well, there's like charities and stuff to like get your kid some, you know, some hockey equipment. It's like hand-me-downs and stuff like that. Summon jerky. Nom. Puckett program. I mean, Tim Hortons obviously does a lot of that, not surprisingly, since Tim Horton was a hockey player. Definitely a path here. No. Or I could just walk around, you know, works too. You know Tim Hortons is real. But yeah. Based on the, you know, Tim Hortons was created by a hockey player. Like, I need good coffee and donuts to make a new franchise. So he spent his like NHL money on making a restaurant franchise. He's the Dunkin' Donuts, yep. Timmy's the Starbucks of Canada. There's freaking Timmy's on every corner store, or any corner in Canada. Like Timmy's across the road from other Timmy's. Not big there, yeah. I mean, people go for Timmy's mostly for the coffee. I usually go there for, like, breakfast. Like one of those breakfast wrap things. Convenient because it's everywhere, so it's easy to... You don't have any coffee. Yeah, a town without donuts is a town without cops. A lawless place. Hey, Cleftus Grenade, how's it going? Yes, I did. We're playing a really old game. Now that we got a good Jaguar emulator that works. There was no way in hell I was gonna go buy an actual Jaguar. Ooh, can we use rope to go up and down without having to use levitate? That'd be good. And you can change the volume by pressing different buttons. It's rare that a game lets you change the music and sound volume separately in this era. Ian homes must smell great with all the donuts. Yep. Every Canadian just goes out and gets a dozen donuts in the morning. It's Canadian law. Anytime you apply for citizenship in Canada, you need to sign a waiver that you must get a dozen donuts every morning. Seriously, why? Yay, leveled up. Level 4 after, well, 3 hours. We're 3 hours into the game. It was like 5 hours something that we started at because of the first playthrough of this game. First attempt at playing through this game. Alright. It's not load. Cancel. I'm curious if that rope. Just want to see where this bit goes. Okay, so previous floor is fully explored basically, unless there's like a path on the bottom left corner there. There could be like a very small hidden path there. Unlikely though, because there would be no stairs going there unless there's a teleporter. $43 million donuts eaten per month in Canada. Yeah, diabetes is an epidemic here. Well, the first playthrough I was using like an older emulator, which basically crashed often, and there was a point where the game crashed and it corrupted my save file. So at that point it was like, nope, I'm not taking a chance with this game. We're gonna wait until we get good Jaguar emulation. And they finally released a really good Jaguar emulator, so now I can actually play. Alright, so let's see, rope. We use rope. We use rope. Yes, thanks so much for the 17 months of awesome support. Playing the old jiggly wire towers on emulation, yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was flickering a lot too. That was definitely another issue, but I mean that's an issue I could have dealt with. But you know, crashing is definitely not, and not just crashing. Crashing is one thing. I mean, as long as I'm saving often, you know, I can kind of get through it. But wiping the save, that I couldn't. I couldn't keep going with that. I wasn't gonna take a chance. You know, getting like 20 hours into the game and then my save file going away. So yeah, 14 donuts. That's like one a month. So you know, I just threw it down the hole. I don't know if this rope is how am I supposed to use this rope if it's even used in any way. Seems like it'd be something to use to climb up and down poles, but I don't know. I don't see any way of using it. Maybe I need like a grappling thing I can combine it together with a grapple or something. Can I combine it with like a rock, maybe a weighted stone? Is that a thing? Can you combine things in this game? Huh. Do that? Hmm. Oh. Stone of Health. Hmm. Definitely need these stones for something. Yeah. Yes. Bring some ice to Texas, that'll just take down the entire place instantly. Quarters. The library main entrance. There are like 2 notes here. Library teleport malfunctions, we'll fix soon. Let's see if we can grab that Stone of Health thing. I can somehow grab that. I don't know how far I can grab. The falling down. Oh, nice. Okay, so you don't need to... I'm assuming we need that for something at some point. Yeah, I mean, that place isn't exactly prepared to, you know, handle snow, right? Not a surprise. Yeah, the prairies are pretty flat. A lot of nothing there. Keys to dump here. On here. Nope. Summer's too hot. I mean, you gotta remember, like, the majority of Canadian population is near the border of the U.S., so northern U.S. and southern, and like, the majority of Canada basically gets the exact same weather. There's not a very much difference. Obviously, if you compare it to, like, Texas or something, Florida, sure, it's gonna be different. You're not gonna see much of a difference between, like, New York State and Canada. Pretty minor. Get to the middle section there and looks we got somewhere, and then wait, that was the library with the columns in the way. $700 miles. See if I can even, like, remotely kill one of these golem dudes. I know, right? Look at this amazing power. You should just feel the FPS. The FPMs. Let's continue from the first playthrough, because it would just mess up my timer too much if I just restarted the timer, so I'll consider the first playthrough, like, you know, a practice playthrough, and this is like the real playthrough or whatever. I mean, most newer games aren't going to be as bad as this, I imagine. I cannot handle these guys. I can't even hit them. Nah, it's supposed to be able to attack these guys. Maybe I need, like, special items to handle these. Special weapons or, like, another 10 levels. Yeah. Oh, Sharpie had to suffer through that game, so... Chronicles wasn't bad. Combat was kind of annoying, but just double take us to the same spot. It's back this elemental planes bullshit thing. Wait, there's a new area? When did this get opened up? Maybe once you clear out one area, it unlocks the next area? The Aiden's Chronicles? The combat is definitely the worst thing of that game. If they didn't add those reinforcements bullshit thing, it would have been infinitely better, but... thing I can't do here is the one where I need to... All I get out of that is a create wall spell, so I don't know. This one doesn't seem to be worth doing anymore. Also that other pit. Abe's Odyssey? Oh yeah. Oh, which came first, this or Abe's Odyssey? Maybe Abe's Odyssey like ripped the sound of this one. Spoilers! I was gonna try Sumo. Attacking me. Oh, needs a rope. Can you stay put so I can give you a rope? Here's what I promised. Levitation? Wind mastery. Does that levitate me? What does this even do? Absolutely nothing. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, this guy gives me a spell, but it doesn't seem like it's required anyway. Maybe it is, I don't know. Let's just reload here, because... Like, I imagine these spells aren't necessarily required, just like that create wall spell. Like, maybe they are, I don't know. Seems like... I think the main thing right now is I need some sort of, like, levitation. I got levitation potions, but I mean, unless I can find more of these, I don't want to be using them and then, like, you know, like, not having any more. Really bad. Why am I playing this now? Because there's good at Jaguar emulation now. Before this, Jaguar emulation was hit or miss. Very, very miss, because there's only one emulator that even went past the title screen for this game, and it constantly flickered, and worse off, crashed, and corrupted my save files, so... Yes, there's nothing else here, so I'm assuming, yeah, so the main thing here was to unlock the next area. Let's go back to the library here. We finish off that area. So there's that. I really need to take notes here, so just in case I need these. So level 4, create wall, south area, create wall, need lev. Drop down. I don't know if I need that rope anywhere else. I'll keep it for now, but... Wind Mastery. I don't know what the hell Wind Mastery even does. Doesn't seem like it was an attack. Maybe it gives you like actual levitation. Doesn't lift you up though. Space meteorites is what we're made of, pretty much. Let's vote for Nep Nep. Well, Nep Nep this time, I don't think anything's gonna counter Nep Nep. It's kind of hard to overtake something that has that many votes to start off with. God, the controls in this game are so floaty. What's this one? Those are like traps. There's no switch to set off the traps. Yeah, falling down here doesn't seem to be useful because it just goes to an area I've been to. There's those teleporters. Could really easily fall into one of these pits just by momentum. Don't spend $100 have a star named after you, it's a scam. Yeah, just like buying plots of land on the moon is a scam. You own nothing. Alright. Where are we? Oh, new area. Oh, we're behind these guys. Nice. Yeah. It's on a map. Yeah, but who are you paying to name this star? Who's going to agree to the name of the star is your name, right? There's nobody, like there's no like one governing body that's officially naming these stars, and everybody like agrees that, you know, this governing body is like, it confirms that this governing body is like is the be-all and end-all. Finish constructing the globe of Xanfar. The globe is made from various forms of magic and held together by the Mace of Elements. Okay, so that Mace of Elements is actually useful for something. The globe will help transport me to a faraway world. Unfortunately, the mace is not powerful enough to carry me that far. Alright, so this Mace of Elements actually does have a use then. Okay, so write this down. Globe of Xanfar. Made of various forms, maybe the stones of whatever weaken that magic. Gather. Mace of Elements. Punch myself with the paper. I've made a deal with the elemental lords. I allowed each of them access into this existence in exchange for charging the Mace of Elements. Oh, okay, so that weird thing I saw where I got the wall scroll was probably where I need to charge the mace. As a safety measure, I have sealed the entrance to the outside world. They cannot leave this tower, and I'm sure they are outraged and will kill any humans at first sight. It's not how you spell sight, by the way. I'm guessing the developers were not native English speakers. Okay, so that's what we need. We need to charge them at those weird altars I saw. Charge. Elemental. Still. Lose you lose. That's your credit card bar last night. Well, I mean, credit cards are easy to get. Just call your credit card company and they'll just send you a new one. Just cancel the old one. Easy peasy. Perhaps the villagers are correct in assuming I am mad. There is a way to furnish more power to the globe. Old texts explain to several mages who helped form this island. If I can find their bodies, I would use their great knowledge and wisdom of magic to aid in my quest. Firestorm. Firestorm spell. We'll need levitate, that'd be the most important thing. I don't want to use these scrolls. New key I picked up, right? What are we doing for food? 26. I have 47 degrees. I wish. Here it is minus 8 right now, which is like, what, like 20, 15 in freedom units. Okay, so it looks like I guess we're done to the library for now. So we're gonna have to go through each of those elemental things and charge up this elemental portal. Problem is, we have those 2 levitation potions. I wonder if that wind mastery thing is going to be required then. Well, considering it's what, like the US and is it Taiwan? Are the only 2 places that use those units in the entire world? Like, come on, US. Switch to the rest of the world. Go to metric. Gold Eagle units. Oh god, I remember this place. It's like a freaking teleporter maze. I remember this place being annoying as shit. Weird how I always remember like the most annoying spots. Can't hit things. He can't seem doing damage to me, but I'm definitely not doing any damage to him. I haven't hit him once. Yeah, oh god. He does hit though. I have enough mana, I can't even like... Wow. Huh. Monster Hunter Freedom Units, yep. Freedom Units, Freedom Fries, yep. Inches is greater than centimeters. I don't know, if you measure something in centimeters, it's a lot bigger. Or it sounds a lot bigger. Hey, Freeze. Yeah, it definitely has an Ultima Underworld feel, doesn't it? Okay, can I don't think this guy's possible to hit. I was hitting the stone dudes. Maybe any like some sort of maybe you can only hit these guys with magic. They're like, I don't think that even hit. I think these guys seem to be invulnerable. Maybe I need that wind mastery thing. It's let's see if we get wind mastery and then come back to this guy. I have to use one of my levitation potions, but I have a save there, so if I still don't do any damage, I'll just reload. Like maybe it gives us some buff. Problem is, it doesn't show us like any buff. Like when we use that levitation potion, there's that little icon in the bottom, but. Americans are just too much in defeat. There you go. America's full of foot fetishists. I love them feet. My rope. I mean, considering it's in the list, like, in order. I killed that guy. Got some XP. I'll make a memory save here and see if this lets me actually attack them. I don't know if Wind Mastery makes it so like I do extra damage to wind. Maybe I do damage, or I do like wind damage to rocks. Which actually kind of would have made sense because I was in the rock area, but I don't know. Alright. Pushes me back, which is... Maybe Wind Mastery lets me, like... Okay, I did do... I mean, it looked like I did damage there when I cast it, but... cartridge load. Kill one of these. Not them doing damage. Maybe they're immune to anything but magic. But then that spirit axe didn't do any damage either, so. So I guess we're just going to ignore this guy. Let's run away from him. Locked. And they give you enough room to kind of run away from these. Definitely have more health now because it's taking a lot longer to heal up. My health 43. I don't know what I started with, but oops. Alright, so I took the okay, let's write down the directions I'm going here. So I took the west side. Regular pearl? Ice ball? Maybe I can use those against the wind? Hit him with the snowball. It's back. Let's see, curiosity. So it does take us to a different area. Teleport mazes. Yay! Yeah, don't I know it. Steel toe stink. Nope. Great. Good RNG there. I just realized if I hold down button, my shield comes up, so yeah, maybe I do have like a block mechanic. Either stops the damage or reduces it. Just hold down the block. Hold down the button. What's the thing? Oh god. Yeah, I don't want to be hit when you're sleeping. It's like instant death. This is gonna be a fun area. Definitely taking damage still, but he reduces the damage. Summon chicken legs. God, it was a mistake. Mistakes were made. Okay, so that unlocks that door. Where are we now? Levitation potion. Okay, so now we have 4, so I can definitely start using them anyways. Wand of Frost. Maybe that'll do some damage to those dudes. Let's see. Don't know how many casts I have of this, but where does that pit go? So that pit goes somewhere new. Let's go right through them. There's nothing. This cartridge memory. Remember. Alright, let's go see what's down here. Friend. You can talk to him. I'll tell you how to free the sword from the rock, but it will cost you the hardest stone, black as night. I do have a black diamond. Throw a couple of ice balls at it. Alright. Thanks, buddy. Ow. Load memory. I guess I don't need to go down there. What did I get? Like quiver, another levitation potion, which I used to get back up anyways. So we already know we need to throw... Need to throw ice balls at some sword in a rock. God, these things are annoying. Why? Leave me alone. Bullies. I'm gonna die. Blue key. Run away. Very bad Pokemon. It. Fuck. This is annoying. Yeah, but I own the DS version, so I'll be playing the DS version. How's it going, Cora? Gotta play the version I own, even if it's jank. Welcome to running away from really, really brutal air elementals that can't seem to damage. Really, really painful, floaty, like momentum based, like movement, kind of annoying. God. Oops, didn't mean to do that. No, don't use that. Run! Run away! You run. Back here. Why am I back here? In my way. Run. This one had a door I couldn't unlock. But not yet. Nice. No, it's not nice. Walk. God damn it. Sucks. TV version's jank as well, but enjoy your time with it. Yeah, how are they so far apart? The GBA game and the DS version are like 100 games apart? I thought they would have been released around the same time. Guess not. Maybe I'll play it twice. Is it like different enough to warrant 2 playthroughs, or is it basically the same game, just like a bad port of it? Because it's funnier that way, obviously. I'm really curious. They're mentioning about the storage installment. Maybe they meant like these air elementals. Actually does damage. This is a super small dev team's passion project. Didn't start the DS version until after the release of the G game. Weird. But is it like basically a different game, or is it, as far as you're aware, or is it pretty similar? Is it like Pokemon Red compared to Pokemon Yellow? Basically the same game with like some quality of life stuff, which obviously aren't quality of life from sounds of it. Major bugging DS port, removing the challenge of combat, making all the enemies killable before they can approach the fire and start counteracting. That sounds easy. I did agree with you. This is a Atari Jaguar game that I had to put on hold when I first played it because Atari Jaguar emulation was very iffy, and there's only one emulator that even ran this game, and unfortunately it didn't run it very well, and it crashed constantly, and at one point it corrupted my saves, so I wasn't going to take a risk to keep playing this game with you know, an emulator that just corrupts your saves. So now there's a good emulator out, made by the guys who made the Atari 50 collection. So hooray, we got a good emulator. Now I gotta finish this one. Damn it. Off my way. No. 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 Grab the key. But no. Go. Run away. Oh no. Oh god, no. No. inventory's too full of crap. Oh god. Yeah. There's gotta be a way of killing these things. And there probably is, I just don't have... probably not with my current dude. To Kingsfield. Oops. Go there. Reload. Oops. Need to get that key first. No. Bastard sneaks around the edge. No, and I got myself cornered. I'm releasing with translated play guides. That's interesting. I wonder how easy it would be to do a fan-translated PSP one. Imagine any like later generation systems are probably harder to do because of like just how they compress the data and all that shit. It's not like in a SNES one where you know you have some games that are a little more complicated. Okay, well. I imagine there's got to be some resources out there that gives you all that info. Murder this guy. Hope I don't get killed first. Run! No! God, no, no! God damn it! Why? Why is there two? You know, I know I'm gonna like accidentally save at one point instead of load or something. Run! Damn it. Missed it. Okay, I'm like inside of this thing. Should have like jibbed it. You go back to the entrance so I could like find a safe way out of here so I can rest. It's not fun. Going to new areas. Damn it. They don't. Maybe so bad if they're like not invulnerable. I mean, if they're vulnerable to something. I mean, I tried these balls. They don't seem to do anything. I tried like. They don't take physical damage, they take nothing. Like, maybe magic, but I don't have any magic to use. I'm not a magician. Alright, go! Need to find which one of these leads to the entrance. So I can go rest. This is where I need to use the key. Am I safe here? Is there an elemental? I could jump down here. I'd be safe down there. Safe here. Alright. See. And showed up in both followed and recommended. Show's good enough. It's a rare game, I imagine. Maybe you've been following the Towers 2 channel. Oh man, there was an elemental here. I got lucky and didn't get murdered in my sleep. You mean teleport? Ah! Oh! Oh, I guess we're reloading. I teleport back. I don't know. Nope, and now we're stuck. Load. Alright, before I continue on though, my stomach's rumbling. So I'm gonna pause time here for a minute. I'm gonna grab some food real quick, and I'll be back in a minute, and we shall continue dying to air elementals. Be right back.